well, that'll be $350. I'm a little skeptical now. I want to know, where did you come up with those figures? So it's a really great idea to have a price list. This is how much it costs to have a zipper put in. This is how much it costs for a hem per inch. These, for altering the waist on a garment, it'll be this much. When you go to a bridal salon, they have all that worked out, and they've determined how much time it's going to take and how many raw materials they might have to use, and it's already figured in. So you can sit down with that customer who wants that specific garment and show the checklist as you create the contract with them. What's really important in today's business is social media marketing. It is constantly changing, so you will need to work to stay on top of it, but it's the best marketing you're going to find for free. You'll need a Facebook account for sure. You may want to go off into other ones such as Pinterest and Instagram and Twitter. You'll find which one works the best for you and your lifestyle and your personality. But marketing for free is something that I didn't have when I started my businesses. We had to pay for print advertising, and then we had to hope that it was doing us some good because we had no idea what was working and what wasn't. So we just kept shelling out more and more money for direct marketing, direct mailing, or print advertising, where now when you have the online aspect of social media, you can get out there and interact and find new customers with clever techniques that are available in online classes. There's free classes on social media. There's books written about it. There is a lot of information out there, but it is changing on a regular basis, so you do need to stay up on it. But I can't stress enough how important it is and how thrilled I am using social media, because every time I do, I keep saying to myself, this is free. This is free marketing, and you can use analytics. There's Google Analytics and Facebook Insights that can tell you, did that post that I posted last week, did it get me a customer? Did it get me a new like on my Facebook site? If you get your customers continuing to be engaged with your Facebook and you want to run a special, or you just want to keep them engaged, they'll remember who you are, and when they need your services, there you'll be. You'll be the first one at the top of their list. So if you're not already really familiar with marketing on social media, get out there and educate yourself, and by all means, do not skip it. It is very important. Now, you'll also want to have a contract. And in that contract, you'll want to outline everything you want across in the price list. And when the customer sees you have a professional price list, oh, now I'm not so skeptical. Now I see that she's a business person and she's got all of her plans in place. Now you want a contract with that customer that says you will pay a percentage down before I ever buy a piece of fabric, before I ever cut into anything. I want 50% down. That's a fair and reasonable thing to ask. Then you want to outline how the process will go from that point forward. If you're just doing alterations, you'll probably only see that client twice for that particular transaction. They'll come in, they'll try the slacks on, you'll pin up the hem, and they'll come back and pick them up. But when you have a garment that you're making specifically, they're going to come to you more than once. Let's say you're doing bridal. Bridal usually requires 2 to 3 fittings. The first time they come to you, you'll do all their measurements, you'll discuss the garment, you'll come up with a price, and then you'll have a contract that will say how many appointments that you will be expecting and how those appointments are anticipated. Those appointments should be outlined as to the ramifications of not showing up for the appointment. So in other words, I made an appointment with bride Jane, and she's supposed to come on Tuesday at 4 o'clock for a fitting, and she decided to go with her friends after work to the bar instead. And now I'm sitting here at 4 o'clock, I put everything else aside and I'm waiting for her and she doesn't show up. Not fair, and it costs you money. It's not just about not being fair, it's about the fact that you could have been producing something else been doing any number of things that would be of profit making. So you need to let the bride, Jane, know that if she doesn't give you a 24-hour notice, and you set these rules yourself, but this is just a suggestion, she doesn't give you a 24-hour notice to change your appointment or to cancel it, there will be a fine. There will be an additional cost added to her contract. This needs to be in the contract now, but let's say it's $50. Well, you know, maybe I'll skip going to the bar with my friends because this is going to cost me $50 if I don't show up for this appointment. So it just keeps everybody honest and fair with each other. The other thing is, again, do not start anything without a 50% deposit, and certainly do not let anything out of your hands until you've been paid in full. I could tell you horror story after horror story where the bride, the mother of the bride, the bridesmaid, whoever it was, had this, oh, I forgot my checkbook, I'll be right back, I'll put it in the mail, and you've developed a little bit of a relationship with this person and you think, oh yeah, they'll do that, and then they never do it. And then you hunt them down and you end up on Judge Judy trying to get your money. So you just don't want that aggravation. So make sure you don't let the garment out of your hand without payment in full. And again, that should be written on the contract that the customer signs at the initial appointment, so she can't say, well, you never told me that. This is the way it works. Another thing that you want to take into consideration when you're making a contract to do custom sewing for someone is weight gain or loss. Most often, especially when you're talking about a big special occasion like a wedding, things happen between you start the gown 6 months in advance and the bride comes 6 weeks before and she goes to put it on and it's either way too big or way too small. She needs to understand that you're really happy for her if she lost a lot of weight, but now you've got 6 more hours you have to put into that garment that you had finished.